Welcome, my loves, to this Divine Life podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into cultivating heaven on earth consciousness, how to thrive and feel great in this life. I'm going to be sharing 7 steps to cultivating heaven on earth consciousness. And when I say heaven on earth consciousness, I'm speaking about that experience of feeling so at peace in your life, of feeling close to God, feeling like God is guiding you, like God is operating through you, feeling connected to the magic, the miracles of this life, and feeling great. So, number 1, we can only enter into the kingdom of heaven with a clear heart, with a pure heart. This requires forgiveness. If you're still harboring any resentments or any regret around the past, I recommend taking the time to access the Akashic Records, and anyone can access the Akashic Records. Access the Akashic Records, pray to see whatever you feel resentment around or regret around from a higher perspective so that you can forgive. Pray for forgiveness and God will deliver. God hears your prayers. God is always there to support us in cultivating a clear heart. And with this clear and pure heart, we can have goodwill for the world. We can wish the best for the world. We can serve as a conduit of blessings for this world. And anything that we send out into the world is bound to come back to us. It is the law of karma. And whatever we are channeling through us, we are experiencing. So when we're channeling this love, this goodwill for life, for the people around us, for humanity, we experience it moving through us. And that allows us to feel great. And it also restores our energy to us so that we can show up to share our gifts, which is number 2, living our purpose, connecting to our God-given gifts, knowing what they are and sharing them in order to experience all the fulfillment and the love that is available to us in this life. We've got to be sharing our gifts. We have to own our place in this world, in this life, and share in a way that is positively impacting other people, benefiting their lives. There is something so fulfilling and emotionally elevating around sharing our energy in a way that positively impacts another person's life. So if there are any fears, insecurities holding you back from sharing your gifts, this is something that will need to be addressed in order to cultivate the heaven on earth consciousness. And God is there to support you. Speak to God, ask God for help to not only get to know what are your God-given gifts, just ask God, like, what is my role here? And then how can I cultivate the confidence, the skills necessary to share this role? A lot of people make a really, they can like make a really big thing out of what they believe their purpose may be or their role is. But our true purpose is found in the moment to moment experience. It is experienced through our thoughts. Our thoughts have energy, they have power, they hold consciousness. So everything that we think emanates outwards and it impacts humanity. So even having beautiful, positive, loving thoughts about another, about the world, is a way of fulfilling your purpose, bringing intentionality, presence, peace, forgiveness, bliss, love to this life through our beingness is another way in which we are serving our purpose. Our purpose is not just our career, our work in the world, or any sort of grand thing that we are creating or offering the world. It is experienced in the moment to moment. The more that you see yourself as a blessing to this life, the more that you honor that God created you to in some way serve this life, because absolutely everything that exists to serve, then the better you will feel. There's there's a power to circulating this love energy, this positive intentionality for humanity, for God's creation here upon this planet, that elevates our emotions. It truly has us feel at peace. It has us experience joy. So number 2 is living your purpose. Number 3, honoring that this is God's kingdom. How can you do that? By cultivating a relationship with God and bringing God into the everyday. I recommend developing your conversation with God throughout the day, speaking to God, and keeping yourself reminded that God is here. Heaven is the kingdom of God. So if we feel far away from God, separate from God, abandoned by God, then we cannot cultivate this heaven on earth consciousness. When we are continuously in dialogue with God, that begins to give rise to all the experiences of living in heaven on earth. Number 4 is connection to Pachamama. This grounds us out of the mind and into true presence. I experience Pachamama as the feminine spirit of love. And when we cultivate our relationship with her, it is this unbreakable, tangible, real life expression of love that we are always unconditionally connected to. When we develop our relationship to Pachamama, we can see and receive and feel blessed by her beauty, the way in which she is always nourishing us, always sustaining us. It gives rise to this experience of gratitude. It also opens our heart to love, because our mother, Mother Earth, she loves us infinitely. She created us, she birthed us, and she continues to sustain us in all that she is, and all of the fruit trees that she births from her womb, from the earth, and all of the animals that she creates, even in the oxygen that is created by the plant kingdom for us to breathe, to sustain our bodies. These are all ways in which Pachamama is nourishing us and sustaining us. And this nourishment is an expression of love. Through our connection to Pachamama, we remember all that we have to be grateful for, the way in which the totality of this life is a gift. It is all a gift, and it opens our hearts to the spirit of love, to the spirits of gratitude, and of seeing clearly. When we are taking life for granted, we're not seeing clearly. And if we're not seeing clearly, then we won't experience this life as heaven. We will stray into other illusions of lies, potential experiences of hell on earth, where there is chaos, where there is pain, where there is separation. Because God gave us free will, we have the capacity to create many, many, many different experiences here upon the planet. But that doesn't mean that they are innately or inherently reality as it is. It is more so reality as it is being experienced through us, created through us, related to through us. Because we were made in the image of God, we are also endowed with divine creative power. And a lot of this comes from how we are perceiving life and relating to life. So our connection to Pachamama allows us to perceive life through a clear lens, when we can see her, when we know her, when we honor her, when we are truly connected to her. There's love, there's gratitude, and from that love comes a sense of belonging, feeling like we belong here. We are the beloved child of both Pachamama and God. And this inspiration to serve this life. And that inspiration to serve is what has us cultivate our creative gifts in a way that benefits humanity and brings us this sense of joy and of fulfillment. So number 5 is receiving all of life's circumstances as either opportunities or gifts. So many different things can go down in this life, and some of them can feel like hell, they can feel like a curse. Yet if we relate to them from a place of seeing them as serving us in some way, because ultimately everything that exists to serve. Nothing is a mistake. This is all the kingdom of God. It is all within God's dominion. God knows more than we do, and God knows what circumstances, what experiences are most going to catalyze our evolution, which is a big point of this entire experience, this human experience of life. So when we see that everything is as it's meant to be, and we open to relating to it as some sort of opportunity, perhaps it's catalyzing our growth in some way, perhaps it's drawing us closer to God, then we maintain a healthy relationship with life. As soon as we start resisting life, as soon as we start proclaiming this shouldn't be happening, this is wrong, this is awful, this is a tragedy, things can feel extremely painful and they can be very far away from our preference. Yet when we stray from God, when we lose our faith in God, our trust in God, our trust in life, when we no longer see life as a benevolent force that actually loves us, and lose our connection to the divine, then we can start to create this experience of hell on earth. There are ways in which we can relate to any and all circumstances of our life from a place of knowing that it is growing us, that it is all an invitation to grow closer to God in some way. And I'll give an example. Let's say someone that we love dies. This can be an incredibly painful experience that can bring up a lot of grief. But if we continue to maintain a relationship with God throughout that experience, then we maintain our connection to a higher perspective, and we can see that the destiny of every living thing is to die, and that the soul is eternal, and we can find ways to grieve and to feel the pain and to feel the loss while still maintaining a connection to peace, a connection to feeling that things are as they should be. And they are as they should be because that's how they are. That's how God orchestrated them. And in our faith in God, we know that God doesn't make any mistakes. This brings us so much peace and the capacity to surrender to whatever life throws at us, which is so incredibly important in this time where so much feels so, well, not even in this time, in this life. It's unpredictable. It's unknowable. It is a mystery. As human beings, the human consciousness tends to cultivate attachments to how it believes things should be or to things lasting. But the destiny of every single living thing is death. Absolutely everything that exists is destined to die. And this is number 6, maintaining a connection to higher perspective, to spiritual perspective, so the mind of God, we can see these spiritual truths and we can navigate our human attachments and our human emotions in ways where we are always bringing forth the peace of God no matter what we are experiencing, even when something happens, like someone that we love dying. And this higher perspective, it's not designed to bypass your human experience or transcend your emotions in any way. In order to cultivate heaven on earth consciousness, it is really important that every emotion that moves through us is faced and embraced, because we can never cultivate heaven on earth consciousness through repressing anything. It is through unity. It's through wholeness. It's through accepting and embracing all that is that we cultivate this consciousness, including our emotions. When we are continuously reminded of the truth of God, when we are growing closer and closer to the mind of God, the ways of God, then we can better hold whatever emotion we may be moving through or experience we're moving through with this sense of like peace. It's like when God is present, it's not as overwhelming. The healing occurs. We are equipped to face with courage whatever is arising when we've got God with us. And this is what keeps us from looping in traumas for years and years and years on end, so that we can actually process the traumas of this life and move beyond them into the present moment, into the spirit of possibility, versus feeling so held down by something that happened in the past. Ultimately, everything does need to be processed, and it's a lot easier when we are connected to God. It's when God is there with us, when we feel divinity present in our experience, no matter how challenging or dark or intense our experience may be. It's so much easier to open into what is actually occurring and grieve and process and know that the future is still unwritten, instead of living something and then continuing to relive it because it is still alive in your energetic body or emotional body or mental body. It all needs to be processed so that we can move forward with our lives and drop into the present moment, into the spirit of possibility. Number 7, to cultivating heaven on earth consciousness, is dissolving separation. If we believe that heaven is up there and earth is here, and that is another, and I am me, and we are really identified with these ideas of separation, that's going to keep us from heaven on earth consciousness. A big part of heaven on earth consciousness is the spirit of unity, of wholeness, of recognizing that inside every other is another me, and experiencing life as an experience of we, being willing to see yourself in another, being willing to love another as you would like to be loved, honor another as you would like to be honored, and seeing your connection as well to Pachamama, to the earth, instead of thinking like that's nature, that's earth, and I'm human. It's the unification that restores this deep sense of peace, this trust, and the benevolence of life. And that restoration in your consciousness allows you to experience heaven on earth consciousness.